I want to live here. That was nice.
We love movies.
And we love the
live
city.
and breathe movies.
Thank you, Toronto Film Festival. It is a wonderful, wonderful place to come as a filmmaker.
I love the movie. If you want to talk about it after, I'll be walking around, probably around Chinatown or whatever.
Enjoy the film, guys, and thank you again, and thank you for having us. It's so great to be in my home country of Canada. Thank you, thank you.
Our moderator for today is Eric Kohanek, and it's now my pleasure to welcome the director and actors from the film, Rage.
Good afternoon and welcome to the press conference for Rage. Rage is a TIFF special presentation that will have its world premiere tonight at 6 o'clock in the Visa screening room at the Elgin Theater. With us today, the movie Rage is a very complex and grisly murder thriller. With us today is the director, Sang-il Lee, who also wrote the screenplay for the film. Next to him, we have Deidre, who's the translator here for any questions. Next to Deidre, we have Ken Watanabe, who plays the part of Yohei in the movie. Next to Ken, we have Momo, who's another interpreter. And last but certainly not least, we have Aoi Miyazaki, who plays Yohei's daughter, Aiko, in the film. If you have any questions, please put up your hand. We have mic runners who will give you a microphone. I'll kick things off, first of all, by asking you about how you also wrote the screenplay, and it's based on a novel. Can you talk a bit about transitioning the story, bringing the story, adapting it from a novel into a film script?
まあ、原作は吉田修一さん書かれた、まあ、日本でいうと上下巻2巻にわたる非常に長い情報量があるんですけど、まずはその中からこの3つのエピソードをチョイスして、なんだろうな、前半は特に殺人事件が物語の出発点なんで、犯人をこう追っていく物語に、まあ、見せながらこうどんどんこうどちらかというとこう犯人を追う物語よりその自分が知ってる人、自分の大切な人をこう疑ってしまう人の心のミステリーをどう深く、広げていくかということを特に意識しました。
So this particular script was based on a novel written by Shuichi Yoshida, the novelist. It is in the format of 2 volumes, and out of those 2 volumes, I chose 3 particular episodes to base my script on. In Mr. Yoshida's story, it starts out about the murder and explains the motives and the history behind it, but I chose not to start with that part. My focus was on how 3 characters in the film are influenced by this murder and end up not trusting, and sort of the what goes on around the sort of the psychological aspect, the mystery of what happens when they start wondering if the person that they've met is the murderer.
Before we take questions, I know that each of you have a comment that you would like to make about the film and your work. I'll lead off with Ken Watanabe. You had a commentary you wanted to deliver?
So I think Mr. Lee Sang-lee, he's a treasure of Japanese film industry, I think. Then, just really, I really proud to bring this film and then to Tron International Film Festival. And then I'm really proud also proud of work with him, but not easy, not enjoying, because, he always tried to shooting tough, so tough shooting, but result is great. And all of actors and actresses trusted him. And yeah, maybe I will try next more and more.
And Aoi, you had something you wanted to say as well?
I'm so happy to be here because Canada is a special country for me. When I was a student, I visited Toronto and stayed with a local family. Since then, to visit Canada had been my dream. And I'd like to thank our director Lee and all of amazing actors and staff. I was very happy to work with you. 私にとって本当にとても大事な作品なので、たくさんの人に愛してもらえるといいなと思っています。
For me, this work is a very important one, and I really hope that people will love this film.
And Mr. Lee, you wanted to say something as well overall about the film?
About working on the film?
あ
いわゆるこの映画の制作に関して。
あ、オープニングコメント。なんだろうな。そうですね。3 years ago, Ken Watanabe and I were invited here, TIFF, with the film Unforgiven. But we couldn't come here then. And I felt sad. So this time, I'm very glad to be here with Ken Watanabe and Aoi Miyazaki. Yeah.
There's a question down here. Do we? Oh, right here. Sorry.
James Heron, I'm with the Nikkei Voice newspaper, and I just wanted to ask the question, the theme of the film seems to be our impulse to trust and also the precariousness of that trust, and I wondered whether in the film you were addressing anything particular to the current situation in Japan or whether it was a more universal statement.
いや、基本的には両方だと思いますね。これは日本の特に、いわゆるなんだろうな、どちらかというとこう社会の隅にいる人たちの物語なんですけど、同じようなことが多分世界でも起きていると思いますね。我々はだから知らない人たち、改めて知り合う新しい人たちのことをどれだけ信頼できるかで、その信頼することがいかに難しいかで、逆に言うと信頼することによって失うこと、同時に疑うことによって失うことがどれだけあるのかっていうことは今まさに世界で同じように起きていることだと認識しています。
I would say that the answer is both, basically. That certainly this particular story is in Japan. It's about Japan. It's about the people, the story of the people who are on the edges of society and come into that society and try and make a place for themselves. But I feel that this is quite applicable to the world as well. For example, whenever as people we go and meet new people, how much can we trust them? And how much is the difference between that when the moment when we start doubting, how much do we lose by doing that? I think that this is something that is definitely in the wider world as well.
Now, you've worked with the novelist who is Soichi Yoshida. You used his story before in The Villain. And the story there was who was the real villain. The story here is who is the real murderer. Is it the themes or the structure of his writing that appeals to you and makes you want to work with him again and again?
Of course, yeah. もちろんそうですし、吉田さんの描くこう作品を描く時の視点ですね。特に今回も、なんだろうな、まあ「レイジ怒り」というタイトルですけど、基本的にはこう怒りを外にある意味発散している人たちの話ではなくて、こう内側に溜め込んでる、やっぱり映画の中のセリフでもあるんですけど、本気の怒りっていうのは目には見えない、ある意味人にちゃんと伝わっていかない、伝わることの難しさ、そういったことをこう今の時代の空気としてやっぱり吉田さんは的確に捉えているということを非常に共鳴しますね、強く。
So yes, I definitely think that is Yoshida-san's perspective that is very interesting to me. So for example, Rage is the title, but it's not really about rage that has been released or expressed. It's more about the rage that is kept inside. As in the movie, they say that the true rage is one that nobody can see. And I feel that this is very much a reflection of what we are dealing with in our times, and that Yoshida-san accurately portrays it.
Ken, you're quite famous, perhaps for being a samurai over the years. This role is quite different. It's a very emotional role. Can you talk a bit about what attracted you, about the role, what attracted you, and also, well, talk about that first.
Started shooting just after the theater of King and I on the Broadway musical. Three months later, it's totally different character, you know. Yeah, King and really city normal people or something. But he doesn't have, you know, aggressive people. He is not, and it's a really complicated explain about. I'm Japanese, and 彼とその娘との間にもう最初からそのボタンを掛け違えている、そういう長い歴史がずっとある。そういう中で彼はずっと能動的に生きてこなかったそのわけですよね。だからそのいつも僕が振られる役はその割とストレートまっすぐで正しくて、強くて、そういう役が多かったんですけど、今回は全部がこうそれとは違う役だったので、僕の中に何かそういうものがあるのかどうかっていうのを僕は試されている、彼に僕は試されているような気がしましたね。でそれが僕の俳優としてのこうキュリオシティをやっぱり多分揺さぶったんだと思います。
So in this movie, my role was about a man who has, with his daughter, a very long history, and it's as if they have sort of put the wrong button on from the beginning. And so also I am playing a role where the man is not taking action. He's a passive man about the problem with his daughter. And all the roles that I've been given so far, really, in my actor's career, has been straightforward, very righteous, strong characters. And so everything was reversed for this role. It was a very complex role. So I felt that I was being challenged by Director Lee in playing this role. So I think that that was really what attracted me to this role. And I wanted to see if there was, within myself personally, that kind of aspect to my character, and I wanted to find that out.
Aoi, I wonder if you could talk a bit about your character. It's a very emotional role for you. What did you reach for in yourself and in your emotions in order to portray this role, and how was it? Talk a bit about the relationship between the daughter and the father and how that changes over the course of the film.
愛子ちゃんという女の子は多分自分の中に全くないような女の子だと思っていて、なので愛子ちゃんがどう考えてこのセリフを言ってるんだろう、どう考えてこういう行動をしているんだろうということが全く初めは理解ができなかった中で、リハーサルを何回か重ねて本番に入ったんですが、きっと愛子ちゃん自身もその自分自身のことをあまり理解できていなくて、その感情の思うままにというか、頭でこういろいろ考えて動くタイプの人間ではないのかなというふうに理解をしていました。なので現場で全てを開いて、心も体も頭も全てを開いて全部をこう拾えるように、監督の思っていることやお父ちゃんの感じていることか、お父ちゃんの気配みたいな全てをこう吸収しながら、いろんな人の力を借りて愛子ちゃんという女の子を自分の中で見つけていくというか、探していくような作業だったかなと思います。で今回その現場で渡辺謙さんが一緒にいてくださる時間がとても多かったので、撮影自体は2週間でしたが、撮影中は基本的にはこう同じ空間にいて、たまにおしゃべりをしたり、何でもないこうただ同じ空間を過ごすっていうことをこう積極的にしてくださったので、それが私にとってはとても助けになりました。
So the role of Aiko-chan, which I played, is really, I don't think I have her in me at all. I cannot find her in me at all. So when I was trying to think about why did she say this, or why did she act that way, I really couldn't get it. It was very difficult for me to figure out this role. So we did a lot of rehearsals. And then once I was on the set, I felt that perhaps Aiko-chan herself was a person who couldn't really understand herself, the emotions that she had. And she was very spontaneous, didn't really think too deeply before acting. And so while I was on the set, I was asked to open myself in many ways. My feelings, my body, and my brain, everything I was asked to open up. So that was very, very challenging, but with the director's help and Oto-chan, my father's help, but just sharing the same atmosphere, the same air, it really helped me a lot. And I'd like to say that Ken-san really helped me. The shooting actually only lasted for 2 weeks, but basically, we chatted on our non-shooting time together. We spent a lot of time. He really helped me out by doing small talk and making me comfortable. So I think that that really helped me a lot.
Another question down here.
Hi. I'm from Cut Magazine, Akemi Nakamura. This question is to Aoi Miyazaki. You said this project was special. In what way was special? And also, working with Ken Watanabe, did you learn anything from him? He works a lot with Hollywood films.
Sorry, could you repeat the question for me again? Yeah, we couldn't really hear the question. Could you repeat it for me? Sorry.
じゃあ日本語で言います。先ほど挨拶のところでこの映画がスペシャルだとおっしゃっていたんですが、どういう意味でスペシャルだったんでしょうかということと、2問目の質問は渡辺謙さんはハリウッド映画にたくさん出演していらっしゃいますが、彼から何か学んだことはありますか？
Should I translate the question first? Oh, no.
I can't do that.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
the question was for Aoi when she said in her opening comments that this was a very special work for her. So in what way was it very special? And the second part is Mr. Watanabe is a big Hollywood star. What did you learn from him in that respect?
まず今までこのような役を私はいただいたことがなかったので、初めて台本をいただいて、それがリー監督の作品だっていうのを耳にした時に、まさかリーさんが自分に声をかけてくださるということも想像もしていなかったことでしたし、このような役をいただくことも今までにはなかったので、自分にとって挑戦、今までしたことがない挑戦になる役だなという気持ちで現場に入りました。でもう現場ではこう毎日毎日監督と話をするというか、こうどうしようかっていうことを無言の時間も含めていろんな感情を監督と共有しながら愛子ちゃんを一緒に作っていった気がしています。今まで挑戦したことがなかったという意味でも、そのリー監督の作品に参加できたという意味でもスペシャルです。はい。
So about the first part, this role, I've never been offered such a role in the past. It's a very different role from what I've been offered before. And I actually never thought that Director Lee, when I heard that it was a film with him, I never thought that he would want to work with me. So that was very much of a surprise. So going onto the set, I felt that I was going to be challenged. It was going to be a challenging shoot. So that's the mindset that I went in to get on the set. And to really build this role, I not just talked with Director Lee about it, we really built the character, the role together, I'd say. It was a collaboration, and we didn't really just talk. It was even in moments of silence that we shared emotions. What is this character about? So it was really a work together with the director.
渡辺謙さんと初めてご一緒させていただいて、その現場での佇まいというか、スタッフの人への対応であったり、もちろん私たち役者への接し方であったり、もう全てが私はそばで見れたことが幸せでしたし、こんな大人の人にいつか自分もなれたらいいなっていう思いが私の中には今あって、なんかこう何かをこう大きな心で包み込んでくれるような、とっても存在的にもこう大きな方です。
So about Mr. Watanabe, this was my first time working with Ken Watanabe, and his whole behavior, his whole persona on the set was a huge revelation to me. The way that he interacted with the staff, he interacted with his fellow actors. Everything was a revelation, and I really felt fortunate that I had the opportunity to work with him. And one of the things that I thought was, eventually one of those days, I'd really like to be a mature grown-up like him. And so it was also the way that he almost sort of envelops other people with a very, very big heart. And so that was what I learned from him.
My name is Yusuke Tanaka from Fraser Magazine. My question goes to Watanabe Ken-san and San-Il Kamtoku. As I remember, you worked together 2 times. First one was Unforgiven, and second, this is the second movie. And unlike other characters that roles that you, Ken-san, play, like heroic personality, but these two are quite different. So you people liked each other, I'm sure. How do you see each other as an actor and the director?
多分ケンさんは僕に対して愛憎が入り混じれてるんじゃないかと思います。
I think Ken-san probably feels both love but hate for me as well.
まあ確かに許されざるもので初めてご一緒して、まあもしかしたら経験というか作品を通して、渡辺謙という人を僕が少しでも多く深く知ることがなければ、もしかしたら今回の役をやっていただくことはなかったかもしれませんね。はい、それは。
And so for the first time I worked with Ken Watanabe in the movie Unforgiven. And through working through him, I got to know him much better. And I think that it could be said that if I had not had this opportunity to learn who he was as a person and get to know him more deeply, I may not have thought of him for this particular character.
撮影が終わった時に僕はまだケンさんのまあ、撮影というかこの人を全部撮った気になれなかったんですよね。まだ、別のもっと深いところにそう簡単には届かないところにケンさんが存在していると思ったんで、まあ、今回はそこに届くことを、まあ、願ってというか意識して、粘りました。はい。
So after we finished shooting Unforgiven, I had this lingering feeling that I hadn't quite taken all of him. I hadn't shot him somehow, that something had not quite come out, that there was a deeper place that I hadn't reached within Ken Watanabe. And I wanted to do that. So I was conscious of this, and when I decided to film this time, I was very conscious of this fact that I felt there was some deeper place in Ken Watanabe that it was still unexplored. And so I was very persistent in just pushing and pushing until we got to there.
Yeah, and so, you know, The Unforgiven was really tough movie, and in a winter in Hokkaido, it's the same atmosphere of Toronto or something. Then it's heavy snow and cold and really tough location. But I could feel something very good feeling as an actor. And after we finished the last film, Unforgiven, I told him I would take any role if there was anything I can do to help. And he knows, yeah. And then while I was preparing for The King and I on the Broadway musical maybe a couple years ago, he brought me 2 long books. And then he said, yeah, this is what I want to do next. And then I started reading, and then it's a really tough story. And but without healing my role. And then as I was reading, I was at a loss because he was really challenging himself to yet another topic, another difficult topic. And then, yeah, however, I had no hesitation to jump on board his ship. Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid we're out of time. As I said, Rage is a TIFF special presentation. It will have its world premiere tonight at 6 o'clock in the Visa Screening Room at the Elgin Theater. And it will be in theaters nationwide on September 17th. Arigato. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jonas.